Good afternoon, folks. It is September the 18th at 1:48 p.m. My name is Bruce, and this is
Brett, Star Rookies.
Star Rookies. And we are Fully Dressed, the podcast. And we are doing a short. I'm not 100% familiar with this, but he is, and we're going to try it today to see what happens. So we're going to get started right now. So here we go.
All right, here we go. Here's something I don't think you've seen, and let's play it, and then we'll talk about it, and then we will end it.
How can they make such a big and sweeping change so easily and quickly? It's at least as dangerous as the normal kickoff and looks like hell. Sissy football is bad for America and bad for the NFL. Says the guy who wakes up in the morning and sprays his head with Aquanet.
Okay, just for context, I never, ever watched Jimmy Kimmel, ever. I watched him Tuesday night. I recorded it because Monday he was in the news for some other stuff. I said, you know what? Let me watch him and see if he really is as whacked out as I thought.
Truth be told, loudly complaining about the NFL is what a man his age should be doing right now. Maybe he'll send in the National Guard to fix it. And then 20 minutes later, he's on to an entirely different subject, TikTok. His Treasury Secretary announced that they have a framework of a deal to sell TikTok to an American company. Last year, Congress voted to ban TikTok unless the Chinese company that owns it sold it to a U.S. company. This deal is very important to President Trump because TikTok is his son Don Jr.'s only friend. But Trump loves TikTok. He thinks it helped him get elected, so he kept extending the deadline to force the sale, and now it's rumored that TikTok's assets have been sold to 81-year-old MAGA billionaire Larry Ellison, seen here revealing his secret plan to kill James Bond. So now instead of the Chinese government harvesting our thoughts, interests, and personal information, Trump's buddy will have them instead. At least it's somebody we can trust, though, right? We hit some new lows over the weekend with the...
Okay, at this point, I was like, he's really not that funny. But I went on a little while longer, and here we are.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction.
Now, to be fair, I don't think he heard what was going on because of the chopper in the background. I don't think he really heard the question was directed at Charlie Kirk, but you're able to be able to criticize him on that response to the Charlie Kirk thing. But let's go on just a little further.
Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he was dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
If you're between 45 and 60,
I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip it.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces, you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is. I mean, who thinks like that? And why are we building a $200 million ballroom in the White? Is it possible that he's doing it intentionally so we could be bad about that instead of the Epstein list? By the time he's out of office,
Listen to the crowd.
the White House will have
Real
slot
low.
machines and a water slide. Trump is in major change the subject mode. On Friday, he stopped by the always friendly morning crew at Fox. Whenever Trump goes on Fox and Friends, it's funny because the hosts are so eager for him to be reasonable. They spell it all out for him. They desperately want to avoid having to nod along with anything crazy or contradict him. So they give him the question and their preferred answer too.
Is the message to the right, the people that are going to go, I want revenge, not to have revenge? Charlie Kirk would not want revenge.
You want revenge at the voter.
That's where to go.
Okay, good answer, right? Take it to the ballot box. That's reasonable. That's almost presidential. But that's the thing. He can never just stop right there.
I can't really say at the ballot box because in some cases, like California, doesn't have ballot boxes.
Oh, well, in that case, begin the purge. For the record, we live in California. We do have ballot boxes. We have ballot boxes. We've got mailboxes. We have lunch boxes. We have all kinds of boxes. You should come see them sometime. We'll give you a toolbox. You can live in it. Okay? And then we have this head of the FBI, this character, Kash Patel, who so far has handled this investigation into the murder of Charlie Kirk like a kid who didn't read the book, BSing his way through an oral report.
So in 24 hours after, when we were still looking for the guy, I know you posted that we got him. That ended up not being true.
The job of the FBI is not just to manhunt the actual suspect who did the killing or suspects, but it's also to eliminate targets and eliminate subjects who are not involved in the process. And that's what we were doing. Could I have worded it a little better in the heat of the moment? Sure. But do I regret putting it out? Absolutely not. I was telling the world what the FBI was doing as we were doing.
Which was claiming we caught the killer when we had not. Kash Patel always looks like he just got hit by a Volkswagen. Governor of Utah, Governor Spencer Cox.
Okay. I might have turned it off by now. I might have watched a little bit more, but I wanted to show you that because I know you hadn't seen the episode. I turned it off, took it out of my saved list, and quit. The next day, ABC takes him down. Now, people are saying freedom of speech. People are saying, no, this isn't about freedom of speech. You have the freedom of speech to be kept from government prosecuting you for things that you say. But your employer can fire you for what you say. That's simple. Okay. What'd you see? What'd you think of after seeing that? Was it what you expected?
Yeah, because my expectations for Jimmy Kimmel and his show, I've watched it maybe 5 times in 20 years. I think they said he's been on for 20 years, which seems absurd. He's not funny. He was funny on the Man Show, but I think
but the Man Show would have him criticized and hammered by the left if that show was on today.
Remember the bouncing bunnies with the girls in bikinis on the trampolines and drinking
Yep.
beer?
Yeah,
He gets like a beer faster than me, and I'm a professional beer drinker.
but they're out there defending him.
And Adam Carolla was the funny one. And then he gets the show. I think for 20 years, he's not funny. And so am I surprised that the show was that bad? No. I can't believe it took this long to get pulled. So I wasn't surprised. I think he's a hardcore left puppet that says and does whatever they tell him to say and do, because that's who pays him. And I really believe he did not think he would ever be pulled off the air unless he wanted to be taken off the air. I think what is funny is his wife is his head writer. So, they both got fired.
Well, and just for the record, we'll wrap this up now. Keep it under 10 minutes. The clips that he showed of that Fox and Friends interview, I just want people to know, I happened to watch that interview. It was a full 1 hour of Fox and Friends in the morning from 8 to 9 a.m. Towards the end of the hour, Trump was like, we haven't even gone to commercial, expecting to sit through the commercial break and continue through the hour. And they're like, well, frankly, you're the president. We're not going to take a break. So there's your Jimmy Kimmel. Defend him if you want. You can say it's free speech being silenced. It's not free speech being silenced. ABC doesn't want to pay him. ABC is selling a bunch of stations. That's the way it is. That's all I got to say on that.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to this little short. We are going to end it now. We're going to come back here in about 10, 15 minutes for episode number 3 of Fully Dressed. Thanks for paying attention. Please like, share, and subscribe. We will see you very, very soon. Peace out.